Number one, man deposited $100,000 into a saving account with a nominal annual interest rate of I% compounded monthly. At the end of the 8th year, the amount in the account had increased, becomes $150,000. Find the value of I. I is interest, right? So I will use the future value formula for compound interest, and the formula is FV equal PV times 1 plus interest over 100 PY power N. FV is the future value, while PV is the present value, N is number of periods, I is interest, and PY compounding period per year. And now let's resubstitute the information that a fee is $150,000. Okay, and PV is $100,000 times 1 plus I over 1,200. Okay, power N is 96 because 12 times 8. Right, so as we calculate, I'm going to set this equation becomes 1 plus I over 1,200 power 96 is equal 150,000 over 100,000 becomes 1.5, okay, like this. And after that becomes 1 plus I over 1,200 equal 1.5 power 1 over 96. And after that, I over 1,200 1 minus 5 power 1 over 96 is equal 1.00422325 minus 1 because this one move here, and I'm gonna move here. Interest equal 1 minus the 1.00422325 minus 1 is equal 0.0042325 and times 1,200, and the result is 5.079. Round off becomes 5.08. This is a percentage because interest percent. So nominal, we can state that the nominal annual interest rate is approximately 5.08%. That one. Next, part B. Man withdraws the $150,000 and places it in an annuity, earning a nominal annual interest rate of 6.1% compounded monthly. At the end of each month, man will receive a payment of $1,000. Fine. The amount of money remaining in the annuity at the end of 10 years. Express your answer to the nearest dollar. Okay, or B. The formula for the remaining balance in an annuity after withdrawals, I'm going to use this formula as fee equal P fee times 1 plus I over 100 Py power n minus PMT times 1 plus I over 100 Py power n minus 1 over 1 over 100 Py. This one. Substitute the numbers. PP is 150,000, I mean. And then times 1 plus 6.1 because interest 6.1 and this is 1,200 power 12 times 10, 120 minus 1,000. PMT is 1,000. This is 1 plus 6.1 over 1,200. Okay, power 120 minus 1 over 1 over 1,200. Okay, and if you calculate for this part, the result I have calculated already to 275 six 275,638.4689 minus 164,771.7625. And the result is 110,266.7064. Round off becomes 110,000. Sorry, this is 800, not 200. This is 866. $867. Two, after taking a mathematics test, Fatima wonders how many more marks she would have achieved if she had spent an extra 1.5 hours studying. To find out, she randomly selects 5 students from her class who took the same test and asks them how many hours they spent studying for the test and the marks they achieved. Their responses are shown in the following table. It's a table, and Fatima believes there might be a linear relationship between the time spent studying and the result obtained. Find the Pearson product moment correlation coefficients are for this data. Okay, I need a table for uh, to calculate the correlation. The table is T. So, and the data, this data, and M this data, TM, okay, TR0, 1.2, 1.6, 2.5, 4, MR45, 54, 61, 72, 86. Let me check. Just make sure. Okay, 72, 86, right. And after that, T times M is 0, 64.8, 97.6, and this is 180, 344. And next, T squared. Okay, I create a table. Okay, T squared, R 0, 1.44, 2.56, 6.25, 16. Okay. Okay, after that, M squared. M squared are 2025, 2916, 3721, 5184, 7396. Okay, and the accumulation, this is 9.3, this is 318, this is 686.4, 26.25. This one is 20,242. Right. Now we are going to find this one, R, correlation coefficient. Our formula is N times sigma PIMI minus sigma TI MI. Actually, you can calculate, you can find correlation coefficient through calculator, but I would like to show you how we calculate through formula. We will find the result through formula. N times sigma Ti squared minus sigma Ti squared times N sigma Mi squared minus sigma Mi squared. Now substitute test information, this number 5, N equal 5, because there are 5 data, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 686.4 Ti is a 9.3, 318 over square root 5 times 26.25 minus 9.3 squared, okay, in brackets, times 5 times 20,242 minus 318 squared. And if you calculate the result is 0.9947. Round off becomes 0.995. Part 2. Find the least squares regression line of M on T for this data. Okay. So we will use the formula M equal A plus BT. Okay. A is the intercept, B is the slope or gradient of the line. So let's recalculate B first with this formula N times sigma GIMI minus sigma TI sigma MI over N times sigma TI squared minus sigma TI squared. So it becomes, substitute this number, 5 times 686.4 minus 9.3 times 318 over 5 times 26.25 times 9.3 squared. And if you calculate the result, 10.6032. Round off becomes 10.6. That is B. As you find T equal sigma T over N. 9.3 over 5. It is 1.86. After that, we're going to find M. Sigma M over N. 318 over 5. 63.6. Right. So A equal N minus BT according to this equation. So it means A equal M is this one, 63.6 minus B is 1, 10.6 is 1, and T is 1. 1.86. And if you calculate, the result is 43.9. It's 1. So M equal 43.9 plus 10.6 T. This is M. According to her model, find how many more marks Fatima would have achieved if she spent an extra 1.5 hours studying. Right. So about how many more marks? Okay, it means going to use delta M, not P. So delta M equal delta M, this one, equal 10.6 T, time is 1.5, 10.6 times 1.5, and it is 15.9. That one, 15.9. State one reason why the value obtained in Part B might not be valid. I have provided my explanations about this question, and this is my explanation. Okay, this is Part C. You may copy or you may add something into this briefly explanations, or if you have other different opinion, you may writing based on your opinion. Number three, the formula F equal 1.8 C plus 32 is used to convert a temperature in degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. Find a formula for converting a temperature in degrees Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. Right. F equal 1.8 C plus 32. So we have to convert becomes from Fahrenheit becomes Celsius. So it means F minus 32 equal 1.8 C. It's 1.8 C. Or 1.8 C equal F minus 32. If C is the subject, this formula becomes F minus 32 over 1.8. That one, the formula. Find the temperature in degrees Celsius that is recorded as 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Right. So how about if F equals 77? So it means C equals 77 minus 32 over 1.8. And if you calculate, the result is 25. Over 1 year, the mean daily temperature in Mexico City was calculated to be 17 degrees Celsius with a standard deviation of 9 degrees Celsius. For the same year, find in degrees Fahrenheit the mean daily temperature in Mexico City, right? So we need to change from Celsius becomes Fahrenheit. F equal 1.8 C plus 32. If C equals 17, becomes 1.8 times 17 plus 32, and it is 62.6. For the same year, find the standard deviations of the daily temperature in Mexico City, right? So part two, standard deviation in Fahrenheit equal, I'm going to check, this one, 1.8. 1.8 of standard deviation in Celsius. It means 1.8 times, let me check the standard deviation in Celsius, 9 degrees, this one. So 1.8 times 9. It is 16.2. Number 4, consider the differential equation dy dx equal log 10x plus y, where x greater than or equal 0 and y greater than 0. Given that y equal 1 when x equals 0. So when x 0, y equal 1. Use Euler's method with a step length of 0.1. Wow, too small. To find an approximate value for y when x equals 2. Right? So when x equals 0, y equals 1. Okay, we're going to start from this information. The Euler's method formula is like this: y equal y n, the index n plus 1, yn plus 1 equal yn plus h times f function of xn comma yn, where this function xn yn is equal log 10 xn plus yn. This is the Euler's method formula. Now, the first step, wait. The first step from x equals 0, from x0 equals 0, according to this information, to x1 equal 0.1, according to this information, that the mid step, that the step, okay, the step length is 0.1, so 0 to 0.1. So it means f x0 y0 is log 10, 0 plus 1, it is 0, because log 1 is 0. So y1 is y0 plus h times f x0 y0, it is 1 plus 0.1. 0.1 times 0, sorry, times 0 here. It is 1. According to this information. Next, the second step, from x1 equals 0.1 to x2 is 0.2, because the step length 0.1. So f x1 y1 equal log 10 0.1 plus 1, it is log 1.1 is 0.0414. So y2, or second y2 is y1 plus h times f functions of x1 and y1 is equal to 1, this number 1 plus 0.1 because the step length is 0.1 times this number 0.0414. The result is 1.00414. The third step, from x2 is 1, 0.2 to x3, 0.3. So f x2 and y2 is log 10. Okay. And it is 0.2 plus 1.00414, and log this number, the result is 0.0808, that one. And y3 is y2 plus h times f x2 and y2, okay, it's equal 1.00414 plus 0.1 times 0.0808, 1.0122. Fourth step, from x3 equals 0.3 to x4, 0.4. So fx3 and y3 log 10, 0.3 plus 1.01, this number, 222. And log this number is 0.1188. Y4 for y3 plus h times f x3 and y3, it's equal 1.01222, take this number, plus 0.1, the step length, times 0.1188, and the result is 1.02411. Through the same method, you can determine y5 at the fifth step. The fifth step, y5 equal 1.03938. You can determine through this way. And then sixth step, so it is y6, 1.03938. 0.05815. The seventh step, y7, y7 got 1.08012. The eighth step, y8 got 1.10505. Okay, the ninth step y9 we got 1.13305. And you can continue to calculate until 20 step. Okay, I have calculated this. From x19, 1.9 to x20, 2.0. So have x19 and y19 log 10, 1.9 plus 1.55191 equals 0.5463. So it means y20 equal y19 plus h times f x19 and y19 equal 1.55. This is on my calculator. And 1 plus 0.1 times 0.5463, this number. And the result is 1.60654. Round off becomes 1.61. This one. Number 5, points A 3,4, B 9,6, and C 11,2 are shown in the following diagram along with the perpendicular bisectors AB, AC, and BC. The perpendicular bisector of BC intercept the axis at coordinates 0.0, -1 and 2, 0. Write down the equations of perpendicular bisector BC. Right. Perpendicular bisector BC, this line passed through this coordinate point. So we are going to determine the equation or the function if through 0, -1 and 2, 0. I would like to use formula or equation like this: y minus y1 over y2 minus y1 equal x minus x1 over x2 minus x1. Is x1, x1, y1, x2, y2. So it's going to be y minus minus 1 over y2, this one 0 minus 1 equal x minus x1, 0, 2 minus 0. Okay. It's going to be y plus 1 over 1, x over 2. Now crossing multiplication becomes 2y plus 2 equal x. 2y equal x minus 2. Y equal 1 half x minus 1. So this is the equation. The equations of perpendicular bisector of AB is this one. So there is a perpendicular bisector equation as well. Y equal minus 3x plus 23. Find the coordinates of point phi where the perpendicular bisector meet. Give your answer to 4 significant figures, right? Okay, so there are two equations. Y equal half, 1 half x minus 1, and y equal minus 3x plus 33. Y equal y, it means minus 3x plus 23 equal 1 half x minus 1. We're moving here. Calculate with calculate 2. Okay. Becomes 6 minus 6x plus 46 equal 1 x minus 2. Okay. So minus 6x minus 1x minus 2 minus 46. And it becomes minus 7x equal minus 48. Yes. It means x equal minus 48 over minus 7, or 48 over 7 becomes positive. This is x. And next we're going to find y. Substitute x equal 48 over 7 into y, into this equation, y equal minus 3x plus 23. If you substitute, becomes minus 3 times 48 over 7 plus 23. And the result is 2.429. That is y. While 48 over 7 is 6.857. So the coordinate point the coordinate point x comma y, x 6.857, comma 2.429. That one. Next question. A Voronoi diagram is constructed with points A, B, and C as the three sides. Draw clearly the edges of the Voronoi diagram on the given diagram. This diagram. All right. Voronoi diagram, I'm going to writing here. Voronoi diagram separates three sites or region through edges. Okay, so you're going to separate. Okay, this is the intercept point. Okay, until we have to separate becomes B and A. Okay, becomes E and A have the same uh, same distance to the line. If this line impossible because B will be more close rather than A. So it means between A and B, it's supposed to be this line. Okay. Okay. That's between A and B. How about B and C? Of course, this one. It's supposed this line. Okay. And how about A and C? If this line, A will be more close rather than C. If this line, C will be more close rather than A. So it means it's supposed this line. Number six, on 1st January 2025, the Faber Car Company will release a new car to global markets. The company expects to sell 40 cars in January 2025. The number of cars sold each month can be modeled by a geometric sequence where R equal 1.1. Use this model to find the number of cars that will be sold in December 2025. Okay. The formula for the formula n for the n tail and for the n term of a geometric sequence is given by usually using this formula a n equal a1 plus multiply r power n minus 1. And we can calculate okay, in December 2025, it means A12. A12, that is 40 according to the information that A is 40. There's 1.1 power 12 minus 1. And if you calculate, the result is 114.1244. Round off becomes 114. So we can state that the Faber Car Company is expected to sell approximately, because round off this the result, approximately 114 cars in December 2025. Which one? Use this model to find the number of cars that will be sold in the year as long as 2025. B part 1. So the sum of the, we are going to using the difference formula. This the formula of the sum. The sum of the first n terms. The formula is Sn equal A1 times 1 uh, R greater than 1. So it means R power n minus 1. R minus 1. So it means S12. Yeah, I'm going to use S12 because 12 months. 40 times 40 times 1.1 power 12 minus 1 over 1.1 minus 1. It is 40 times 1.1 power 12, 3.138428 minus 1 power 0.1. And if you calculate, the result is 855.37135, round off becomes 855. So we can state that the Faber Car Company is expected to sell approximately 855 cars during 2025. Okay, part two. Part two, we are going to calculate during 2026. The formula for the sum of terms from, this is from A13 to A24. Okay. So I'm going to use this term as 13 to 24. It's a, so of course the first A is A13. A13 R greater than 1, so it means R power n minus k plus 1 minus 1 and R minus 1. So it is 125.53712. Okay, times 1.1 power 12 minus 1, 1.1 minus 1. And if you calculate, the result is 2,684.5214. Round off becomes 2,685. Okay, so we can state that the Faber Car Company is expected to sell approximately 2,685 cars during 2026. Number 7. When studying big cats, researchers use a model in which the mass m kilograms of an animal is directly proportional to the cube of its shoulder height, 8 meters. This one. A cheetah has a mass of 64 kg and shoulder height 0.8 meters. Use the model to find an expression for m in terms of age. Okay, so m equal, this is part A1, m equal a times h cubed. So it means if a the subject is the subject, we can rearrange this formula. This equation becomes m over h cubed. Okay, so if mass is 64 and age is 0.8, so we can determine A is 125. Okay, so it means M equal 125 H cubed. This is the equation. Hence, find the mass of a different cheetah with a shoulder height of 0.75 meters, right? So how about if h equal 0.75, so it means m equal 125 times 0.75 cubed. And if you calculate, the result is 52.734. Round off becomes 52.7 kg. Next, part B. First law states that the energy needs of an animal are directly proportional to the square of age. The energy needs of a lion of mass 220 kg are k times the energy needs of a cheetah of mass 64 kg. Find the value of k. Right. According to the information that 125 h cubed equal mass, and the mass is 220. So it means we can determine h, the h cubed is 220 over 125, and the result is 1.76. Right, so it means h equal cube root of 1.76. So how about E or energy? Energy is K times H squared. And then if we are going to determine K, if K is the subject, we can rearrange this equation being E over K over K equal A over H squared. Okay, so it means if we substitute the number E is 1 square root 1.76 cube root, I mean, square, okay, over this one 0.8 square, and the result is 2.277. So on, round off becomes 2.277. 2, 8. That is K. Number 8, the weight on the following graph represent the length of different routes in kilometers. Right, this is the graph. And the question, write down the vertices with odd degree. All right. Let's check one by one. I'm going to start with A. A has 1, 2. Okay, A has 2. B has 1, 2, 3. B has 3. Now C has 1, 2, 3. C has 3. D has 1, 2, 3, 4. D has 4. H has 1, 2, has 2. G has 2, 1, 2. And this is F. I mean, it's F. F has 1, 2, 3, 4. F has 4. And E has 1, 2. E has 2. So the odd are B and C. So the answer is B and C. Total length of the route is 33 plus x kilometer. Find two expressions in terms of x for the shortest distance required to walk along all of the paths, beginning and ending at the same vertex. Include in your answer the interval of values of x for which each expression is valid. Right, I'm going to start with calculate. We are going to calculate. Wait, this is 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus x. Sorry, plus 3. I mean, 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 4 plus 3 plus 5. All of them are 33. Okay. And the highest is 5. So there are two conditions. First, the first, if x less than or equal 5. So the shortest distance required is length equal 33 plus 2x. Why? Because total length walk, including extra DC part. So this is for this part twice. We are going to ring twice. Okay, so it becomes 2x. That's why the length equation becomes 33 plus 2x. The second, if x greater than or equal 5, so the shortest distance required is L equal 33, and look this triangle, this part. We're going to calculate this part twice. This part AB and AC. It means plus 3 plus 2, totally plus 5. So it's going to be 33 plus x plus 5. And it becomes 38 plus x. So for the part two, the total length of the walk, including extra AB and AC. This is extra AB and AC. And this one extra BC. Sorry, extra BC. Number 9, find integral 8 over 2x plus 3. Okay. And part B, hence find the exact area between the curve y, 8 over 2x plus 3, the x-axis and the lines x equals 0 and x equals 6 to give your answer in the form of A ln B, right? Firstly, we need to find this integral. Because we are going to using the integral to solving part B. So firstly, let u equal to x plus 3. It means du equal to dx. 1/2 du equal dx. So it means this integral we can uh, convert into du dx, comes like this. 8 over u 1/2 du, this one. Or 8 times 1/2, 4, 1 over u du, and this is 4 ln u plus c, or it is 4 ln 2x plus 3 plus c. Next part B, the area equal integral 0 to 6, 8 over 2x plus 3 dx, or it is 4 integral 0 to 6. The integral is ln 2x plus 3. So 1. And then after that, substitute 6 and 0 into this expression. 4 ln 12 plus 3 ln 15 minus ln 3. Okay. So it will be 4 ln, according to ln rule, comes 4 ln 5. This is the solutions. Or you can write in this form for ln 5 becomes, according to ln rule, becomes, this is 2 squared. So it becomes 2 ln 5 squared. Okay? Because this 2 times 2, and it is 2 ln 25. So you can solving like this, the solution. Or like this, 4, according to ln rule, it becomes 1 ln 5 power 4. 1 ln 625. So there are 3 possibilities, 1, 2, 3, for your solution. Number 10, the following diagram shows a semicircle with center O and diameter PQ. A rectangle OABC is also shown such that AB equal 8 and OA equal 5. This is the diagram. Find the length of arc BQ. So we are going to find this arc length. Calculate this arc length. Right. To calculate that, We need to find radius first. Radius of this semicircle is this one. Okay, BO. BO is the radius. So BO equal, by Pythagoras theorem, x squared plus 5 squared. 64 plus 25, and it is square root 89. This is the radius. And next, I'm going to find this angle. Okay. After that, 180 minus this angle, and we can determine this angle. So tangent, I'm going to use tangent BOC. Uh, this is 5 and this is 8. Tangent BOC, it means 5 over 8. And 5 over 8, if you divide, calculate 0.625. So it means angle BOC, if you calculate on your calculator, arctangent 0.625 is 32.00538. Round off becomes 32. So this angle is 32 degrees. So we can determine this angle BOQ, this one, angle BOQ is 180 minus 32, 148 degrees. So we can calculate the circumference first before the arc length. Circumference formula is 2 pi r. 2 times 22 over 7 times square root 89. This is the radius. And if you calculate the rate, the result is 59.2993. That will determine the arc length. Arc length BQ is 148. This one, angle BOQ over 360. This angle of a circle times 59.2993. The result is 24.3786. Round off becomes 24.4. The unit is meters. Number 11, let R alpha be the matrix representing a rotation counterclockwise, anti-clockwise about the origin through an angle of alpha. Write down the R2 alpha as 2 multiplied 2 matrix. Right. So R alpha, uh, R alpha equal cosine alpha is sine alpha minus sine alpha cosine alpha. So it means R2 alpha equal cosine 2 alpha sine 2 alpha minus sine 2 alpha and cosine 2 alpha. Okay, this is part A. Part B, calculate R alpha multiply R alpha. Okay, so part B, so R alpha multiply R alpha is equal cosine alpha sine alpha minus sine alpha cosine alpha times cosine alpha sine alpha minus sine alpha cosine alpha. And the result is uh, cosine alpha becomes cosine squared alpha, and then minus sine alpha minus sine squared alpha, cosine alpha minus sine alpha comes minus cosine alpha sine alpha, and then minus sine alpha and cosine alpha minus sine alpha cosine alpha, sine alpha cosine alpha sine alpha, and then cosine alpha cosine alpha uh, sine alpha plus alpha. So that is cosine squared alpha minus sine squared alpha, because sine alpha minus sine alpha cosine alpha cosine alpha. Okay, so this is the result. And next part C, C part 1. But for this one, if you compare with this calculation with R2 alpha, that uh, the result is cosine squared alpha minus sine squared alpha equal cosine 2 alpha. But I would like to explain on the part C. Wait, part C, C part 1. C part 1, the question is use your answer from part A and part B to explain why sine 2 alpha, this one sine 2 alpha equals minus 1, sorry, sine 2 alpha equals 2 sine alpha cosine alpha. Okay, equals this one, 2 sine alpha. Okay, I have to continue. But cosine squared alpha minus sine squared alpha. This is 2 sine alpha cosine alpha. This is minus 2 sine alpha cosine alpha. And this one cosine squared alpha minus sine squared alpha. Okay. Why? Why sine 2 alpha equals 2 sine alpha cosine alpha, because they are in the uh same position. This one sine alpha equals 2 sine alpha cosine alpha. Okay. This is on look the position, and also because the identity trigonometry, that 2 sine alpha cosine alpha equals sine 2 alpha. So that's why 2 alpha, sorry, sine So I sine 2 alpha equal to sine alpha cosine alpha. If you look this one as well, minus 2 sine alpha equal minus 2 sine alpha cosine alpha. So minus sine 2 alpha equal minus 2 sine alpha cosine alpha. Okay, so if minus divided by minus, it becomes sine 2 alpha equal to sine alpha cos alpha. Show that cosine 2 alpha equals 1 minus 2 sine squared alpha. Cosine 2 alpha, cosine 2 alpha equal cosine squared alpha minus sine squared alpha as well. This one, cosine 2 alpha equals cosine squared alpha minus sine squared alpha. Cosine 2 alpha, cosine squared alpha minus sine squared alpha. Cosine alpha according to identity, trigonometry identity that 1 minus sine squared alpha equal cosine squared alpha because sine squared alpha plus cosine squared alpha is equal 1. So, so cosine squared alpha, we can writing as this one, 1 minus sine squared alpha minus sine squared alpha. And it's equal 1 minus sine squared alpha minus sine squared alpha equal 1 minus 2 sine squared alpha. That's one. Number 12. Roma is told by the manufacturers of their phone that when charging from 0% to percentage P of charge can be modeled by P equal 100 minus 100 times 2 power minus T. Where T is the number of hours since the phone started charging. Find the time taken for the amount of charge to go from 0% to 40% according to this model. 40% it means this is the interval from 0 to 40, so it means P, this one, P equal 40 because P is percentage, right? So that equation we can writing P equal 100 minus 100 times 2 power minus T becomes 40. This is part A. 40 equal 100 minus 100 times 2 power minus T. Or we can writing that minus 100 times 2 power minus T equal 40 minus 100. And it is minus 100 times 2 power minus T is minus 60. So 2 power minus T is minus 60 over over minus 100 becomes 0.6. And then I'm going to continue here. And then learn, according to learn rule that we can writing like this, learn 2 power minus T equal learn 0.6 or minus T ln 2 equal ln 0.6, or t equal ln 0.6 over minus ln 2. So t ln 0.6 is minus 0.51083. This is on my calculator, and then this is minus 0.69315. And if you calculate this, t equal 0.7369 hours. Okay, but we are going to calculate in minutes. So it means we have to calculate 60 uh, minutes per hour. So it becomes 44.218 minutes. That one. Next, part B. Roma decides to test the model. They charge the phone from 0% and record the charge of the phone for different values of t. The results are shown in the following table. This table, okay. Find the sum of the square residuals when using p equal 100 minus 100 times 2 power minus t to fit this data. Firstly, I will going to find according to this equation that if if t equal 1, so this equation becomes p equal 100 minus 100 times 2 power minus 1. So it becomes 100 minus 100 times 1 half, and it is 50. So the result here is 50. It's 50. And if 2, if 2 becomes 2, and the result will be 75. So 75 here. 75, and here. How about if 3? If 3, I have calculated, the result is 87.5. So it is 87.5. And if 4, I have calculated that this is 93.75. Okay. Right. Based on this result, we can calculate part B. Part B. Okay. The question is, find the sum of the square residuals as rest. So it becomes 50 minus 48 squared. Okay. Okay, 50 minus 48 plus 75 minus 74 plus 87.5 minus 86 plus 93.75 minus 91 squared, of course. So it becomes 75 minus 74 squared plus 87.5 minus 86 squared, okay, plus here 93.75 minus 91 squared. And if you calculate, the result is 14.8125. Approximately becomes 0.8, 14.8. Roma now uses a quadratic function to model the charge in the phone. They calculate that when using this model, the sum of the square residuals for the 4 points is 2.45. State one reason why Roma might prefer to use the quadratic model. I have provided my explanation about this right here. I have provided. Okay, this one. This is my explanation. Like I'm gonna bring here. Okay, this is C part one. Okay. You may copy or you may add something into this explanation. Okay, and C part two. Says one reason why Roma might prefer to use this equation P equal 100 minus 100 times 2 power minus T. I have provided as well with my explanation. Wait, I'm going to bring on the upwards here. Okay, this is C part 2. That one. Number 13. Let Z1 equal 4 plus 5i. Find modulus C1. Okay, for modulus Z1, I'm going to write in here. Modulus Z1 equals square root 4 squared plus 5 squared. And it is 16 plus 25 square root 41, 6.40312. Round off becomes 6.40. Find argument Z1. Argument Z1 we can determine through arctangent or tangent power minus 1 b over a. This is a, this is b. Okay, real part and imaginary part. So it becomes tangent power minus 1 or 5 over 4. 51.3402. It is in degrees, so we have to convert into radians. So multiply by pi over 180, and it is 0.8956 radians, or 0.895896 radians. Let C2 equal 3e power 2i. Find the area of triangle on an argand diagram with vertices 0, C and C2. Okay. This is part A, part B. Firstly, I'm going to convert C2 becomes convert to rectangular form using Euler's formula. So C2 equal 3e power to I. It is 3 times cosine 2 plus I sine 2. Okay. 3 times cosine 2, 3 cosine 2 plus 3I sine 2. Okay. So after that, oh yeah, and this is the rectangular form. Now I'm going to multiply Z1. Oh yeah, this is the rectangular form, so I would like to find the conjugate, the complex conjugate of C2, complex conjugate is 3 cosine 2 minus 3I sine 2. Because this is the part of imaginary parts of this complex number. And then after that, Z1 multiply complex conjugate Z2. So Z1 is 4 plus 5I. Complex conjugate of C2, 3 cosine 2 minus 3I sine 2. And 4 times 3 cosine 2, 3I sine 2 plus 5I times 3 cosine 2, 3I sine 2. Okay. And you can find 12 cosine 2 minus 15 sine 2 plus 15 cosine 2 minus 12 sine 2I. This is the imaginary part. Okay, imaginary part. Okay, imaginary part of Z1 times complex conjugate C2. So area, we can determine area equal 1/2 times modulus of imaginary part of C1 times complex conjugate C2. Modulus, it means this number cannot negative. Okay, must be positive. So 1/2 times 15 cosine 2, this imaginary part, minus 12 sine 2. Okay, it is 1/2 15 times minus 0.416 minus 12 times sine 2, 0.09 0.909. Okay, 1/2 times modulus 17.5. So it becomes positive. If negative becomes positive because modulus cannot negative. And the result is 8.575 or 8.5, yeah, 5 okay, square units. 14. Two model cars are driving along the same straight track. Car A leaves point O at t equals 0 and its displacement xa meters from O at t seconds is given by the equations xa equals 4 square root t. T interval 0 to 9. A faster car B leaves O at t equals 3. After starting its motion, the time taken by car B to reach any point on the track is half the time that was taken by A. Half, okay, it's half the time taken by A. That's the time taken by car B. Write down on the equation for the displacement of B, xB, okay, xB is the displacement of B in terms of t, right? So we are going to convert this since xa becomes xb, but in terms of t, right? So according to this information that xa equal 4 square root t, right? And if t is the subject, I would like to rearrange this equation becomes square root t equal x a over 4. So t equal xa over 4 squared, or t equal xa squared over 16. This one. So this is t. Okay. Now, since car B takes half the time to reach the same point, the time TB, time in B, for car B to reach the same displacement is this one. I'm going to write in here. According to this information, that TB, okay, that TB equal 1/2 TA according to this information. So it means TB equal 1/2 times x over 16 squared. It's going to be x squared over 32. So when car B start at t equal 3, so it means TB minus 3 equal x squared over 32. So 32 times this term, TB minus 3 x squared. Okay. So x equals square root 32 t minus 3. I would like to write in t. So this is tb and this is xb. So x equal square root 32 is 16 times 2. 2t minus 3. This is 4. So x equal 4 square root 2t minus 3. This one. Then part B, the question, find the value of t at which B catch up with A. Okay. B equating x to, okay, equating x to 4 square root t. So it means 4 times 2t. Sorry. T minus 3 equal 4 square root t. Divide it, okay? And this is square root, so becomes 2t minus 3 equal t. And it becomes 2t minus 6 equals t. So 2t minus t equals 6. So t equal 6 seconds. This one. Number 15. A system of differential equations of the form dx dt equal ax plus by. dy dt equals cx plus dy has eigenvalues lambda equal minus 1 and lambda equals 2, with corresponding eigenvectors 3, 1 and 1, 3. The following incomplete phase portrait for this system with x, y greater than or equal to 0 shows lines through origin 0, 0 parallel to the eigenvectors. So there are two eigenvectors 3, 1 and 1, 3. A. On the phase portrait, show the directions of motions along the eigenvectors, while 3, 1 and 1, 3. Right. On this diagram. Okay. Along first, we are going to find the line along the eigenvector 3, 1. Okay. 3, 1, it means x3, y1. So this one, this line. And we are going to determine the direction. So we are going to determine along the eigenvector 3, 1 corresponding to lambda, with lambda equal minus 1. And we're going to draw arrows pointing towards the origin. So the direction towards the 0, 0, this one. Origin is 0, 0. So this is the direction, the arrow's direction towards to origin. And next, uh, the next is the line arrow along the eigenvector 3, sorry, 1, 3. 1, 3 is minus x1 and y3. This line, okay, corresponding to lambda equal 2. So it means we are going to draw arrows pointing away from the origin. So it means the direction to upwards. 1. What else? Sketch one trajectory in each of the three regions. Okay. This is the first region. This one, the first region. And the second region. And the third region. At the first region, the trajectory moves toward the origin along the stable eigenvector. Okay. Like this. And away like this, away from the origin along the unstable eigenvector. And it means the arrows, the direction like this, there. So about the second region, This region is closer to the stable direction, and the motion will still be moving toward the origin along this matrix 3, 1. So it means like this, toward to the origin, okay? And this the arrows, the trajectory direction. How about the third region? The third region, this region is closer to the unstable eigenvector, where the trajectory move away from the origin. So it becomes like this. That is the trajectory. Right. So there are three regions. Next question. In a system described above, X and Y are the population sizes of two species, X and Y. The populations of Y is vulnerable, so it will be increased by adding more animals from a different area. Currently, X equals 252 and Y equals 60. Find the number, find the minimum number of new animals from species Y that need to be added for the populations not to reduce to zero over time. All right, there are three regions. So, according to this information, that x equal to 152, y equals 60, and the condition for species y to survive is y greater than one third x. That is. Okay, so we can calculate the minimum value of y required for species y. So for species y, the populations y, populations of species y. Okay, and then uh, according to this information inequality, so y greater than one third x is what 252, so it becomes y greater than 84. That one. So the minimum, I'm going to write it here. So the minimum, the minimum number of new animals needed is delta y equal y greater than 84. So take 85 because the first integer greater than 84 is 85. 85 minus 60 is equal 25. So this is the minimum number. Number 16, the cross sections of the side of a building can be modeled by a curve with equation y equal 5 cosine 1.5 1.1x, which x interval 0 to 1.43. As shown in the following diagram, distances are measured in meters. Diagram. A builder leans a strike ladder against the building to do repairs. For safety reasons, the angle between the ladder and the horizontal ground must be 75 degrees. Find the height above the ground at which the ladder touches the building. All right. The first step, we're going to find the derivative of the function The function is, let me see, this one, 5 cosine 1.1x. And the derivative of this function is minus 5 cosine, sorry, minus 5 sine, I mean, sine 1.1x. That's, derivative of cosine is minus sine, and derivative of 1.1x is 1.1. So the derivative of y is minus 5.5 because 5 times 1.1 sine 1.1x. It's the derivative. And the second step is we are going to find the gradient of this straight line. Okay, of the line, the straight line. Okay, and the gradient is minus. Why? Because if the line slopes to the left, then the gradient is negative. Okay, but like this, I'm going to sketch like this. If the straight line position like this, if the line leans to the left, then the gradient is negative. But if the line leans to the right, like this, then the gradient will be positive. But if you look this straight line, this line, uh, the line leans to the left. So it means the gradient is negative. So that's why the gradient is minus tangent 75. Yeah. Because from the, if we create a straight line here, okay, and this is right angle. So this is a right angle triangle. So the tangent 75. Okay. So tangent 70 minus tangent 75 is minus 3.73205. So on. Okay. Next. And the third step, the next step, the third step, we are going to find x. To find x, we have to create the equation dy dx equal minus tangent 75 or minus 5.5 sine 1.1x equal minus 3.73205, like that. So sine 1.1x equal minus 3.73205 over minus 5.5. And more space. And then, so sine 1.1x equals 0.6785551. So this is sine 1.1x. And sine 1.1x equal, this is 0.678555 is sine 42.731. So sine 42.731 is 0.678555. Right, so it means 1.1x equal 42.731. 731. So x equal 42.731 over 1.1 is equal 38.846. It is degrees. Okay. And we can convert x into radians. So x in radians 38.846 times 3.14 over 180. So x equals 0.67765 radians. Okay. Now we are going to determine the height. So the height, I'm going to move here. The height equal 5 according to the equation 5 cosine 1.1x. So 5 cosine 1.1 times this number, degrees, 38.846. So we can find the result is 3.672762. Okay. Round off becomes 3.67 meters. This is the result. Number 17, Febe opens a coffee shop near to a well-established Apollo coffee shop. After being open for a few months, Febe noticed that 10% of customers who prefer the Apollo coffee shop in 1 month prefer her coffee shop the following month. 25% of customers who prefer her coffee shop in 1 month prefer the Apollo coffee shop the following month. She decided to show the changes in the following transition metrics, such as this matrix. The two eigenvalues for this matrix are 1 and 0.65. An eigenvector corresponding to the eigenvalues 1 is 5 and 2. Find an eigenvector corresponding to the eigenvalue of 0.65. Right. For an eigenvalue, I'm going to say, lambda eigenvalue. Lambda is the eigenvalue. The eigenvector x, y. Okay? It satisfies for the equations that p phi equal lambda phi. We can writing like this, that this matrix 0.9, 0.1, 0.25, 0.75 times x, y is equal 0.665 times x, y. This expands into two equations. Two linear equation becomes 0.9 plus 0.25y equals 0.65x. This is the first equation. And the second equation, 0.1 plus 0.75 y equals 0.65y. The second equation. The first equation becomes, I'm going to simplify 0.9. This is x actually. X is x to 5y equals 0.65x. So 0.9x minus 0.65x equal minus 0.25y. So it becomes 0.25x equal minus 0.25y, or x equal minus y, or y equal minus x. And the second equation, 1x, 0.1, I mean 0.1x, 0.75y equals 0.65y. And we can writing this 0.1x equals 0.65y minus 0.7y. So 0.1x minus 0.1y. X equal minus y, or y equal minus x. And eigenvector corresponding to the eigenvalue lambda equals 0.65 is any vector of the form, just now I saw you that the form is 1, x, y. If y equal minus x, it means the form will be x and minus x. So for simplicity, we can choose 1, whether I'm writing here an eigenvector corresponding to the eigenvalue lambda equal this one 0.65 is any factor of the form xy actually, but y equal minus x, so it becomes x and minus x. So for simplicity, we can choose x equal 1. So an eigenvector corresponding to the eigenvalue lambda equal 0.65. That is x and minus x. It means 1 and minus 1. Next, part B. A diagonal matrix of eigenvalues is D. Write down an expression for the power n, giving your answer as 2 times 2 matrix in terms of n. Next, part B. Okay, D, the matrix D equals 0.65, 0, 0, and 1. Hmm. The n power of a diagonal matrix is the simplifications the diagonal matrix with its diagonal element raised to the n power. So it means d power n for matrix d power n is going to be 0.65 power n, 0, 1, 0 as well, and 1 power n. This is the matrix. Or you may simplify becomes 0.65 power n, 0, 0, 1 power n is still 1. Becomes like this. Part C. When famous coffee shop first opened, the Apollo shop had 7,000 customers the previous month. Assuming all 7,000 customers continue to go to one of this coffee shop, find an expression for the number that will favor Fabri's coffee shop after n months. Let's see. So we're going to write the initial number of customer as a factor, the initial customer factor 7,000 and 0, like this. And transition matrix, I'm going to use the transition matrix T. This is the transition matrix T equal 0.9, 0.1, 0.25, and 0.75. That one. And for the eigenvalue, I'm going to writing this for the eigenvalue for the eigenvalue 1, the eigenvector is P1, 5, and 2, 1 column. And for the eigenvalue 0.65, the eigenvector is P2 equal 1 and minus 1. And a vector can be expressed as a combination of the eigenvectors. So we write the initial vector becomes this one phi. It is initial vector equals C1 phi1 plus C2 phi2. This is the initial vector equation. If we substitute phi1 and phi2, becomes phi0 is this is the initial vector 7,000 and 0, and then C1 phi1 is 1, 5, 2 plus C2 1 and minus 1. So we're gonna have two equations. Two equation 7,000 equal 5C1 plus C2, and then 0 equal 2C1 minus C2. This is the first equation. This is the second equation. Or you can use the third equation and the fourth equation. And we can eliminate this one, C2 is going to be 7,000, 7C1, or C1 equal 7,000 over 7 is equal 1,000. So substitute C1 equal 1,000 into this equation. 2C1 minus C2 equals 0. So C1 is 1,000. 2 times 1,000 minus C2 equals 0. So C2 equal 2,000 because 2 times 1,000. So after n months, the vector will be Vn equal 1,000 times 1 power n times 5n2 plus 2,000 times 0.65 power n plus 1 n minus 1. So we're gonna have uh, we're gonna have uh, matrix 1 power n is 1, so it's gonna be if 1,000 times 5, 5,000, 5,000 plus 2,000 is times 1, 2,000, 0.65 power n, and then 1,000 times 2, 2,000 comes to minus because minus 1 times 2,000 minus 2,000, 0.65 power n. It's the factor. But the numbers favoring, sorry, the numbers for the numbers favoring service cafe after n months is given by the second equation. So the numbers or the solutions, the equations, I mean, I would like to using the equation that is this one or the expression according to the request, the expression is 2,000 minus 2,000 times 0.65 power n, or 2,000 times 1 minus 0.65 power n. That one. These expressions, this expressions one and this one shows how customers shift to the coffee shop over time, accounting for the percentage that switches preference each month. So the first term 2,000, the first term 2,000 is represent the eventual steady state number of customers. Okay. And then the second term, this one, 2,000 minus 0.65 adjust for the transitions period. So we choose the second expression.